Good morning, Yasa. I hope it will be a good week for you. Okay, so now we finished the biggest part of the story today, which is what is going to happen next. Okay, Unit 3. But now we will complete discussing the story. Okay, so we stopped here after they went near the building and they saw it. It was old and it's not a good place. When Mary looked underneath, she saw a heavy iron grid. The grid looked old and rusty. From there, it flowed into a deep, dark pool. Okay, now we want to know what happened next. We will complete reading from Suddenly. Suddenly, she let out a gasp of horror. Jack! Jack! Come quickly! Look at this! It's awful! Jack ran over to her. He looked to where she was pointing. There, trapped behind the grate, were lots of dead fish. Mary shuddered. How terrible! Those poor fish, they are all dead, aren't they? What has happened to them? Shh, whispered Jack. Listen, I can hear something. Someone's coming this way. Jack pulled Mary back against the wall of the house. Suddenly, a door opened, and Jack and Mary heard men's voices. The voices came closer and closer. So, suddenly, when she saw the rusty old grid, she let out a gasp of horror. What's the meaning of a gasp of horror? يعني زي صرخة خوف. Okay, so she called Jack. Jack, come quickly. Look at this. It's awful. It's not good to see. Jack ran over to her. أجلها ركض Jack. Okay, sorry, my fault. He looked to where she was pointing. مكان ما هي عم بتأشر. There, trapped behind the grid, were lots of dead fish. يعني ورا السياج الحديد كان علقان كتير من السمك الميت. Okay. Mary shuddered. يعني صرخت بصدمة بألم. خلينا نحكي إنه how terrible. طلع قد ايه الموضوع it's so bad. those poor fish. إنه هدول السمكات يعني بزعلوا كلياتهم ميتين صح؟ شو صار لإلهم؟ عم تسأل جاك يعني انتو شو what do you think? What happened to them? So he whispered to her. Shh. Whispered يعني همس لها إنه shh. Listen, I can hear something. بحكي لها إنه أنا سامع إشي. Someone's coming this way. في حدا جاي من هون. And he pulled her back against the wall of the house. سحبها لعند الحيط. Okay. Suddenly the door opened and Jack and Mary heard men's voices. سمعوا أصوات رجال. And the voices came closer and closer. عم بيقربوا أكتر وأكتر. Now the last paragraph. I tell you, said a voice. I saw some kids I can't see any kids here, Harry, said. You must have imagined it. Don't worry, everything will be fine. Now stop making such a fuss. Shut the door and let's get back to work. After the door had banged shut, Jack let out a sigh of relief. I don't like this place at all, said Mary. There is something very bad happening here. So, the voices of the men which they heard was said and Harry scrub. كان أصوات الأخوين أصحاب الفactory, the owners of the factory. Okay, so they saw the kids from inside. شافوا من جوا شافوا الأولاد واحد منهم. Okay, اللي هو هاري. And he said إنه come to see there is some kids outside. إنه تعال لبرا في بعض الأطفال أنا شفتهم. فهم لما أجوا حكى له I tell you I saw some kids. بيقول له I can't see any kids here. You must have imagined it. إنك أنت تتخيل everything will be fine. كل إشي حيكون منيح. يعني خلينا what can you guess from this sentence? Everything will be fine. إنه don't worry everything will be fine. شو بتقدري تكهني أو تحذري؟ إنه أكيد they are making something bad inside this factory. There is something wrong happened inside. في أشياء خطأ عم بتصير داخل المكان. So لهيك هم بيقولوا إنه لا ما تخاف everything will be okay. وإنك أنت كنت عم تتوهم. Now stop making such a fuss. يعني خلص تعمل ضوجة وقلق. Shut the door and let's get back to work. سكر هالباب وخلينا نرجع نكمل شغلنا. Okay. After the door had banged shut يعني غلق بإحكام بعد ما تسكر الباب كتير منيح. Jack let out a sigh of relief. نفس هيك إنه ارتاح. Sorry. And he said, Mary said, I don't like this place at all. أنا ما حبيت هذا المكان. There's something very bad happening here. إنه في إشي كتير سيء عم بصير جوا. Okay, so this is the open end of the story. هي open end ما مش مكملين لنا النهاية هون. So don't forget to write the plot now of the story, the last element of the story. Okay, we talked about the characters, the time, the place, but now we need to talk about the plot. ماشي فإحنا خلصنا elements كلها. Now we want to talk about the plot. هيك بيكون يا سادس خلصنا إن شاء الله شرح الدرس. تمام وحننتقل لصفحة الأسئلة page 42. Now page 42, your homework in addition to the plot of the story to do exercise number 1 and exercise number 3. Reading comprehension and vocabulary. The first exercise is who said it? Write the name. So you should read every sentence in this or question. It can be statement or negative or interrogative sentence. Okay, so read each sentence of the first exercise and then write the name of the person who said it. يعني عندي الأشخاص الكاركترز موجودين هون صور وأسماء. So الشخص اللي بتعرف إنه هو حكى هاي الجملة في الدرس بدك تكتب لي اسمه أو تكتبي لي اسمه in the space beside the sentence. Okay, about the third exercise now. The third exercise, read the adjective circle the ones that help to describe the setting. Okay, so the setting, you know the setting, the place. Okay. خلينا نحكي the place. يعني we are talking about the place now. So we have a group of adjectives under the picture. You should choose and circle the adjectives which describe or help to describe the setting اللي ممكن إنها توصف المكان اللي هو طبعا في الصورة which is the building, the old building in the story. تمام? So this is your task and I hope you will do it well. حتابع واجباتكم as usual. Send me your answers and if you have any question you can ask me on live. يعطيكم ألف عافية.